guys, and welcome to Foundation February. I don't really know how it's gonna pan out this year. I might be spreading these videos throughout the entire month of February, or I might be posting them every day for a week. But Foundation February is where I focus on drugstore foundations. I have one high-end foundation that I'm going to try out this year, but mostly I do drugstore. I do a combination of first impressions, wear tests, foundation reviews. I think I'm going to do a declutter this month. Today is going to be a review, first impressions, and wear test on the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. I do have the shade, well, it says 2 to 3 light, so that's the shade I'm going to be using today. First time using it, have not tried it out yet. I'm really excited. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I am filming this in natural lighting. It is snowing today, so it's super miserable. It's also my lunch break. I have about 10 minutes to film this video, so I want to try and plow through it as quick as I can. Obviously not going to be an intense makeup look because the focus is on the foundation. Like I mentioned, I have the shade 2 to 3 light. I am filming in natural lighting, but I will try and do a check-in around 4, like at the 4-hour mark, and then I'll try and come back on around the 8 or 9 hour mark to show you guys how the foundation looks at the end of the evening. And my skin type is normal, but in the winter it's more normal to dry. So right now it's normal to dry, and then in the summer it's more normal to combination. So I think that's everything I need to say. If you do have any questions about anything, it's been a while since I filmed a foundation video, just leave them in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'm so excited for this. So I'm just gonna give it a shake, and it is a dropper. It's not really serumy, it's pretty thick. Oh God, oh my gosh. This is getting so messy. I think what I'm gonna do is just squirt some onto the back of my hand. It is very liquidy, as you guys can tell. Well, it's actually not as liquidy as I thought. For some reason, I thought this was gonna be more watery. It is really messy though. It is liquidy, but it's not that runny, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And the color looks quite dark for light pale, but I think it's gonna match me. I will say L'Oreal is a bit risky with the colors because I find most of their foundations oxidize on me, and most of them are like, they end up looking kind of orange on my skin. I'm going to be using my foundation brush. It's just a little bit dirty, but that's okay. This is from e.l.f. It's one of their oval brushes, and I'm just gonna start blending this out. Oh yeah, I think the color will be fine. It is very light coverage, but it is blending out really nicely. I only applied it to like 1/2 of my face for now to see how it works. I think likely with this type of product, I would not use a sponge because it is a little bit thinner and lighter coverage, and I think I would stick with something like this, which is a very dense buffing brush, because I find these types of brushes work the best with more serum-y foundations. Okay, so that is how the foundation looks on my skin right now. I actually like it. I think it looks very natural. It's not too high coverage. It doesn't look heavy or cakey or crepey or anything on my skin. It actually looks really nice. I think if you were looking for something high coverage, this probably wouldn't cut it, but for me, I think it's giving my skin a really nice, healthy glow to it. I'm going to just quickly do the other side. I thought about using my fingers, but I think I'm just going to use the brush again because it worked so well on the other side. I didn't even tell you guys how much I used. I'm so out of practice on foundation videos, but I probably squirted out about a pump and a half of this product. I think that's probably all I'm going to need. I think if you're any lighter than me, I wouldn't recommend this shade. It is kind of darker than I thought, and like I said, L'Oreal can tend to be a little bit more orangey on me, and it also tends to oxidize throughout the day, so we'll see how the color looks once it's kind of settled onto my skin. But I really like the finish. I love the feel of this on my skin. It doesn't really feel like anything. It's kind of like just seeped into my skin really nicely. I like how it's given my skin a little bit of a dewy, glowier finish. I'm probably not going to do another layer. I think I'm going to stick with just one layer of this. First impressions, I really like it. I think it's worked really well with my skin. My freckles and imperfections still shine through, which I really like, and I feel good in this. So hopefully it lasts a decent amount of time. Okay, it is currently 12:30 right now. I am going to finish the rest of my makeup and just show you guys the final product before going on with my day. I am back. It is 12:38, so I'm right on time. It's been about 10 minutes, I guess, since the foundation has been on my skin. Finish the rest of my makeup. This is what it's looking like now that I have everything applied. So for concealer, I just apply a little bit of the XX Revolution concealer in the shade CX 5.7 under my eyes, around my nose, and just on my chin as well. Oh, and then right on like the middle of my forehead. Just very little. I didn't feel like I needed a ton of concealer, but I did apply some of that. I set my entire face with the Wet n Wild pressed powder, like the Photofocus pressed powder. This is in the shade Warm Light, so that's on my entire skin. I don't know if you really need to set it if you have dry skin, because the foundation did feel like it had settled, and I honestly don't think it needed a powder, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to try it with the powder. And then I spritzed my face with the NYX Bear With Me setting spray, kind of all over. It's not really a setting spray that makes my makeup last longer, but it does kind of make my face look a little less dry, and it kind of refreshes it a bit. So I figured I will use these products, like this setting spray and this powder, for all of my tests this month, my foundation test. I totally forgot to use my primer, which was the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I totally forgot, so I won't be using this throughout the month, but yeah, I just had no primer on my skin, which I guess is okay. A lot of the times I just forget to do primer anyway, so it's a good test. Bronzer is the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula in the shade Bronzer, and then I have the Butter Blush from Physicians Formula in the shade Rosy Pink. So that is everything on my skin. I used the Revolution, what is this? Reloaded eyeshadow palette in Velvet Rose, which is what I'm going to use for February. I thought it was like a romantic soft palette that would be nice for Valentine's month. So that is my eyeshadow palette. And then I used this really beautiful lipstick from Milani. I actually just picked it up. It is called Secret, and it's one of their nude lipsticks. I can't remember what they're called, but they're like these ones. That is everything on my skin, and as you can tell, the foundation looks pretty much the same as it did before. It's not as dewy as it was before, I think because I applied that powder on top, but it still looks very nice, natural. It still lets my skin shine through, and it really just makes my skin look like its best self. It feels like nothing on my skin right now, which is amazing. So we will see. I have to get back to work, but we will see how this foundation wears throughout the day. I will check back in at 5 and then again at the end of the night. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Hey guys, it is 5:15 in the afternoon. So this foundation has been on for about 4.5 hours, and this is what it's looking like. Oh, this is so close and not flattering. This is what it's looking like on my face right now. I am standing in natural light, but it's really dark out and just completely cloudy and super weird outside right now. So I don't know how nice the lighting is. Foundation looks pretty decent, I think. It's lasted really well. I haven't really done anything today. I've just been in front of my laptop working all day, and I didn't even go for a walk or leave my house. I mean, I haven't had a very rough or active day, but it still looks really nice considering that, and it's not really breaking apart anywhere on my skin. It hasn't started looking greasy or anything, which is nice, and I think it's still looking pretty good. It's comfortable. It doesn't feel sticky or heavy on my skin, and I'm really overall impressed with it. I'm sorry about the lighting in this check-in, but I will see you guys, I guess, at the end of the night. But yeah, overall super impressed by this. I really like it. It might be my new favorite L'Oreal foundation, but I have to wait and see and test it out for a bit before I can make any big decisions like that. But yeah, I'll see you guys tonight. Hey guys, it is now 8:09 in the evening. So this foundation has been on my face for about 7.5 hours, I think, if I've done the math correctly in my head, which isn't a huge long wear test. I should have probably waited till 8:30, so I would have gotten the full 8 hours, but I kind of just want to wrap up the day and relax on my couch. So I'm doing the final check-in now, and honestly, I don't feel like the foundation will change much from now over the next hour. So I'm not super worried about that, but this is what it's looking like on my skin right now. It's actually held up pretty well. Like I mentioned, I have normal skin, so my skin doesn't get super oily throughout the day. There's definitely a bit of shine on my skin, like on my forehead there's a bit of shine, and kind of on this area of my cheek and a bit on my chin, but nothing super oily or anything. It hasn't broken down on my skin anywhere. It honestly looks pretty much the same as it did at the midday check-in. It looks good. Like, I feel totally comfortable in this. The coverage hasn't faded. It actually didn't oxidize either. So this color match is really good for me. I'm impressed. I'm honestly impressed. It feels good. It doesn't feel greasy. It doesn't feel heavy on my skin. It doesn't look cakey or heavy anywhere on my skin. And I just am really enjoying it. It's definitely one of the better serum foundations. I feel like it's been a bit tricky for me. Like, sometimes I like serum foundations when I test them out in videos, but then I don't end up wearing them just because I don't know, I just don't end up wearing them, but I can actually see myself using this one. I'm kind of sad it took me so long to test it out. I know it's been out for a while, it's not new, but I am impressed with it. I think this one's actually pretty comparable to the Lumi foundation. I feel like if you already own the Lumi, you might not need this one. I think the Lumi one is maybe a little bit more glowy, and my skin looks a little bit more shiny by the end of the day, but the way that it feels on my skin and the thinness of it is they're pretty much identical in that sense. So I think you don't need both. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the first video of Foundation February. I will see you guys either tomorrow or at some point. I'm not quite sure what the schedule's going to be like yet, but I will see you in the next Foundation February video. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos, and I will see you in my next one.